everyone, and welcome to the Arthur Murray Lifestyle Series. I'm Victoria Regan, the Global Ambassador for Arthur Murray International. Today, we have a very young, beautiful, and accomplished professional and franchisee, Amy Novotny from Lakeview. I keep saying Lakeview, Chicago. It's Lakeview, Illinois, obviously, but you have been in the business with Arthur Murray's for 19 years.
I have. Actually, my Arthurversary is April Fool's Day, but it was no joke.
It was no
purpose,
joke.
Yes.
It was no joke. Now, I remember meeting you, I don't know if it was right, 19 years ago, but I was in the studio when we sat and had a chat. You might have been fairly new, but you shared your story, because I think I asked where you're from, that you had been in music theater or going to university. That was a bit of our connection along with Arthur Murray's. How was that, the transition, and what created that transition from music theater to this wonderful world also?
Well, unlike a lot of things in our business, it was dramatic and exciting. I actually decided I would be a music teacher when I was in 5th grade. I was very inspired by an amazing teacher. And I led my whole life from 5th grade till college, went to school for musical theater and music education at Indiana University, and then became a music teacher, and I moved to Chicago and all the things just like I planned from 5th grade on, of course. And 3 years into my teaching career, I was warming up my vocal jazz kids, and all of a sudden my voice just stopped coming out. It was just air. And I thought, I need to go check this out. I went to the throat doctor. They put a scope down my throat, and literally while it was down my throat, she said, well, you need to get a new career. So terrible bedside manner. I was terrified. But somehow I didn't panic, and I'm not sure how. But 2 weeks prior, I had walked into Arthur Murray Chicago for my very first dance lesson. And I guess I just knew, I just got goosebumps. I guess I just knew that there was something there for me that would take me on my next adventure. And it was kind of a long, crazy, magical journey ever since, but it's been a beautiful experience.
Well, I have to say you're gifted, because usually that news for most people is devastating. But then the fact that something replaced it immediately, and this would be the thing. And for any of those music theater people or musical people, because you came in with the talent that it took, being able to sing, dance, and act, I mean, that's a perfect transition. So for those of you wondering what an alternate career could be, this is an example. And so you started with Jill, and you discovered the magic, and then you discovered the business end of it. And how did you adapt to that?
I've always been very obsessed with education. My family is educators, and I've always loved the arts and seeing creation in front of me and magic, and the things that I witnessed in my students and in myself. Well, they taught me as much as I taught them. And as I was competing and doing all the things, I realized there's really a place to excel in whatever version of the thing that ignites you. And I was really, really excited about teaching and understanding the education and certifying. And as soon as I could get my hands on anybody that was hired next, let's dance, we're gonna dance, future champions, here we go. So I got really excited just to do everything. And I remember early having coaching with Lola Valaire, and she's the master of many things, but she always had such wise things to say to me. And we talked at length about the idea that you do a lot of everything, then you can be available for every perfect experience, not even perfect, every opportunity for you. And I always carried that really true, that I did every job. I've taken part in every part of the studio as much as I could, because I didn't want to be the person that couldn't help someone that needed something in the school. And I've continued to do that, I think, till.
The versatility, yes. Lola is, if you're watching Lola, she is a master of everything, and everybody speaks so highly of her. She was a great mentor to you and Jill. Versatility, right? To do everything inside the box, outside the box, within the industry. And then again, for those wondering what they should do on their free time, grab somebody and dance, study when on your free time, be looking at tapes or other great dancers. Yes. And
Absolutely.
That's obviously, and you have to have an obsession with that.
An obsession is definitely true. It's the most healthy obsession you'll ever have. The addiction is the most healthy thing possible. But I think also you have to be so curious. There's not one right or wrong way to do almost anything in our business, really. There's looks better, feels better, looks worse, feels worse, works better, doesn't. But it's always growing and adapting and moving and changing. And I think you have to be really open to be curious, to find out more and dig in and really develop yourself.
Yeah, I think again, curiosity is the key. You know, it doesn't kill the cat.
No.
I don't know, maybe that's the wrong, but that was something else you had, curious. And then you immediately started competing. You jumped in and you did all styles, which again, then you become a great teacher and you can experience what your students do.
Absolutely.
So, and you became very good.
Thank
You were very good. You danced with Jimmy. Did you start with Jimmy?
I didn't start with Jimmy, but we had a lot of good success together.
Yeah, you
so.
did. You danced with, again, maybe anybody you could get a hold of that would get on
Sure
the floor
did.
and practice. Because it's also the practice, the skills of practicing, getting people that have the same mindset.
Yes.
So you went from dancing to, did you supervise or were you the manager? Let's go.
So I think at one point, I made myself dance director accidentally.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to help everyone certify, and when I took my exams, I thought, I want to make sure people know what to do this. So I wrote a little manual for my own team, and then Bob
you
Long
did?
got
Yes.
a hand on it and said, we should send it out to everybody. And I thought, oh, okay, great. So I guess I'm training people how to certify
Yes,
now.
and we all have it. It's a fabulous template.
Yeah,
and
it's just
bronze.
a starter tool, but
It's great. We need more of that. So you're going to have to do more. We'll all vote you in to do more. So that was another good thing. One of the many good things you did. And you believe, I think we just talked about it, dancing. As soon as you start dancing, you start training for your certifications.
absolutely. I think sometimes people decide, well, I can either think about my teaching or my dancing.
Correct.
And just like we went with our students, the fast track of learning is to develop your medalist learning, understanding of the curriculum, but also to develop your artistic flair and your musicality and understanding how to make your body really look and feel like the music sounds. I think that allows our teaching to be more explanatory and more visual and more lovely. And you can't ask anyone to do anything you've never done yourself. So how do we get all of our students to go participate in all these things that we haven't done ourselves?
I
So
agree.
I'm all about that. Let's dive on in and
As
show them
leader
the way.
and follower, right? We have to
Yeah.
be both all the time,
sure.
and that makes us strong. I keep going through the life so we can get through everything, so everybody is more inspired to see, well, if you can do it, they can do it too. They may not think so because, you know, as I said to you, so many people say, well, she has the right DNA. She's beautiful. She's been in the right place at the right time. But it really is staying on track and having that passion. So you did that. You were dance director.
And then
also
I made myself supervisor, I think. the same
Supervisor,
way.
you made yourself. You just put yourself there. I'm sure
Start
Jill
doing
did
the
not
things
argue
and-
with you on that.
Luckily.
And manager, supervisor. When did you make the decision, and did you always see yourself as a franchisee now that you are one?
You know, I did not. And in fact, when I was doing training and traveling a little bit, people would ask if I wanted to do that. I said, nope, absolutely not. I love that I get to train. And I love that I'm teaching so much and I'm competing and taking my students everywhere. And when the opportunity was presented to partner with Jill and open a new studio, I was actually really upset because I thought that meant, what? I can't have the same job that I love so much anymore. You're getting rid. And I thought of it in totally the wrong way instinctively.
You want to get rid of me instead of thinking, wait,
well, I thought, I can't be the supervisor of Chicago anymore. This is a great job. I love this so much. And then I realized in talking it out with a lot of my mentors and with her and myself that really to expand your ability to educate and impact lives and really changing people's lives in the most beautiful way possible, even the way that they didn't know possible because we knew it for them. That was what was happening to me. People saw something inside of me that I didn't see for myself, not necessarily potential or not, but an idea that could grow me. And I realized, why would I ever not do that? And so I decided to dive in, and I was petrified and terrified.
Head first.
And I didn't do a great job at the very beginning. I know it. I was not in the same headspace that I am now, but developing the culture of the studio that we have now is something I'm most proud of. And we're doing the best we've ever done, thinking about how to create opportunities for each other and be curious and to respect each other's growth.
Yeah.
And I realize I'm circle after circle, all the things that I've been trying to do for myself this whole time. So I'm very proud of that.
Congratulations. Yeah. And your studio is beautiful too. I remember seeing lots of pictures of it when you first were decorating. And so that's the key. You talk to yourself and you have to keep resetting, right? We don't talk much about COVID anymore, but we're all aware that we've all come through it with this company quite amazingly.
Absolutely.
And so you just keep resetting, right? Would that be a key word also? Reset. Keep
Yeah.
resetting to get your spirit back that you were born with and that you had.
I think we just try to keep
onset.
reminding ourselves and our team, my team especially, that we have to think about what makes people the happiest and how do we accomplish that outside of the box, not just the way it's always been done before, but what if has been a big thing in the last couple of years, and that's changed us quite a bit for the better.
And you obviously ask that to your staff all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's very selfless. So to be a franchisee or a real communicator and one who gives, you have to be kind of selfless, right?
I think it's really important to see, and Claudia Marshall always says you have to put a 10 on someone's head. It's really important to see everyone else and think about their potential and how can you help grow someone. You know, I love the quote where, I'm going to get it wrong, but when you light another candle, your flame isn't diminished, it just grows the flame into someone else.
Yes.
And I find that my background in education has really fueled me to feel like serving others and developing people is my greatest passion. And that's with students, with staff, with myself, with my coworkers, with mentors. And I just feel very fortunate for that.
Yes, you are. And you are all of those, and you'll continue to be. Do you think you would possibly open another studio?
I don't know. I'm so obsessed with my studio right now. I love them so much. I have to think on that. But certainly helping anyone that wants to develop that, I would absolutely be behind.
Might be a
that
good
1000%.
choice. Many people have said to me, no, we're happy where we are, and they mean it. They won't, they like having the one studio and building that.
I'm in the studio all the time. I love it.
Yes.
I really want to get my hands. I think maybe I'm a little too nosy about it. But I want to be in the middle of all the fun. I can't help myself.
Oh, that's great. It's so encouraging and inspiring to everyone, I'm sure, to hear your story. I don't know if we've covered everything. There's so much to offer. But have I left out anything before I ask you a fun question?
I think you can ask me anything. We'll see what happens.
The last question would be, if we have covered everything, is what would be your best or favorite memory with your Arthur Murray life?
That's almost an impossible question.
Okay.
But I love thinking on that. I think it's really special just to backtrack in your mind and think what moments have shifted my own trajectory in the moments. And I'll never forget the time I walked into the studio the very first time for my first lesson. Just like some of our students, they don't know what to expect. We know what's going to happen. We have all these ideas in our own brain about it. But I walked into the downtown Chicago studio on September 18th, and it was a Monday night at 8:15 for my lesson.
Wow,
with Clinton
8:15 and 3 seconds.
And I thought on the phone, she said, your lesson's going to be with Clinton. So I walked in. I had my lesson with 8:15 with Clinton. And she said, no, okay. And I said, and also I'd like to speak to Jill DeBongo. I read online that this is her studio. I'd like to ask if she needs to hire anyone because I'd like to have a job here. So before I even started my first lesson, I told Jill tomorrow to hire me. So here we are all this year.
Again,
later.
yes.
Luckily that didn't happen in the same moment. I got to be a student a little bit, but I feel like I walked into that room and I just remember feeling I've got to be here. I just felt it. And I get goosebumps thinking about it every time. It was magical.
Yeah, it's the great word, magical, and it's probably, well, that's a great story, a great first moment. And I would think that many students, like, I've had many people say they start to walk in, they come out professional, but once they walk in, it is magical. And I'm sure when they walk in your studio, they do. Thank you, Amy. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so
and
much.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate the time.
And thank you to all for watching and sharing Amy's story. I'm sure you've enjoyed it. And for supporting the Arthur Murray Lifestyle Series. We'll see you the next episode. Bye.